Yo, everyone. This is recorded after the fact of the podcast, but apparently Mr. Loser is here while setting up the microphone. Didn't check to see that the microphone was actually recording. So you're going to have a whole podcast of our shitty voices on shitty audio because using the microphone on his laptop. So, yeah, Mr. Loser is one fucking loser who didn't do a fucking test run. So now our great podcast that you all should be so fucking happy to be listening to now sounds like shit. So this is just a warning. Oh boy. Man, Mr. Loser is one motherfucker. Alright, enjoy the show, guys.
No one watches this shit anyway. CRINGECAST. I'm Mr. Loserish, and joining with me today in person is
the Kawaii Wrestler.
All right, and I'm back from my trip. I'm sure none of you missed me, but
yeah,
if any of you did, I really am touched. I had to go out of the country to India. I think I mentioned that last time, but it was for...
Oh, yeah, we went on for like 5 minutes, I think, about it.
Yeah, it was for...
yeah, but of course, the worst part was that you had to go to New Jersey.
Yeah, oh man. that fucking... Well, actually, Jersey was fine. I mean, the airport was like pretty big, so it's kind of hard to find where you were going, but it wasn't too bad. What's funny is on my way back from Jersey, or on my way back from India rather, when I was in Jersey, I was nervous because I don't travel alone a lot, and this is, I think, my second time ever being on a plane alone, and I had like gotten confused. I was like mixing up my documents or whatever, and this guy was like, man, why are you so nervous or whatever? And like, I'm brown, so like I was thinking like, oh shit, I'm nervous, I'm brown. This guy thinks I'm a terrorist. Really, I'm just like every average like millennial who has hard time socializing with people. Because I was like, oh, sorry, I'm just a little scared. He's like, why are you scared, huh? I was like,
what, you got to blow yourself up or something?
You got a bomb in that backpack, man. Anyways, yeah. It was an alright trip. Maybe we'll talk about it at the end. We should get into what we advertised for this episode, which is the new Wonder Woman movie. And is Wonder Woman 2017 overrated?
Well, yeah, in a sense, yes.
I definitely feel like it is. Well,
because people are proclaiming it to be the best superhero movie ever, or just like one of the greats on the Mount Rushmore, and it's not. It's just not.
Yeah. So one thing I'll state is that I'm actually I'm definitely a DC guy.
Yeah.
I'm maybe I've not mentioned that on a podcast before, but I'm definitely a DC guy over Marvel. Of course, I know Marvel's got the better movies. I'm never going to deny that. I mean, other than the Dark Knight series and Wonder Woman, which we'll get into, they really don't have much. I'm definitely a bigger DC guy. The Kawaii Wrestler can actually see my whole comic collection, and it's all Superman and Batman.
Yeah, I mean, whenever he talks about superhero characters, it's always about Superman and Batman. So.
Yeah. I don't think DC... Maybe I don't think DC gets enough love just because right now Marvel is like the shit. And everyone's talking about it. And then there's just this stigma that, like, Superman and, like, well, not Batman and stuff, but, like, especially Superman sucks. It's everyone hates him.
Well, I mean, you have to kind of separate comics from, the movies. Because when it comes to comics, though, like, Marvel is this full social justice warrior. Like, girl power and all that shit. It's like, I'll gladly admit that, like, I haven't read comics, but I'm sure that DC is, because they're not doing that they're miles better than anything Marvel is doing.
Well, I think both of them are doing it to an extent. I think Marvel's a bit worse about it. I have seen it was like it wasn't like one of the main issues of Wonder Woman, but there was like a side Wonder Woman issue that had some like really SJW-y plot to it. But I think DC is, I guess, a little bit better about it. I think it's just that people feel like the companies feel like that's what they have to do to appeal to people right now. But my thing with comic books is comics it's such a long history. There's so many fucking, like, Superman's been going on since the 50s.
Yeah.
And like technically it's like been going on, like it's not even like rebooted in a sense. I mean, in a way it's rebooted, but it's also like canon that the reboot happens because it's always like the world gets destroyed and then someone has to rebuild it or whatever. So it's a part of the story. So technically, if you wanted to read all the Superman comics, they must be on like the fucking 2000, 3000 at this point, something crazy. My thing with comics is that you always gotta find the gold and all the I won't say shit, but and all the like fluff, you gotta go out and find those nuggets of gold, which aren't too bad to find.
Yeah, right.
Anything by Brian K. Vaughan. I gotta get the Kawaii Wrestler over here to read some Brian K. Vaughan, guys. Some Why the Last Man. It's a great series. But anyways, so this Wonder Woman movie. First of all, I want to say that, like I said, I'm a huge fan. So I was really hoping that it would be good, and I'm glad because it was good. While we're gonna say that it's overrated, it definitely was good.
Yeah, right. But yeah, overrated is like people think that when you call something overrated, that it's like bad.
Yeah.
No, it isn't as good as like what the main public perception is.
Yeah. I think so. Going into it, people a lot of times were saying that like, oh, Wonder Woman is like amazing. It's literally even better than most of the Marvel movies.
Yeah, right. Like I've seen comments on YouTube like saying it's in the Mount Rushmore of
like it's just like at the top.
Movies.
Yeah. Well, in my opinion, it's definitely not. It was a good movie. Good.
Yeah.
It was par for the course for Marvel. I left the theater.
Right. It's like when you walk out of like an average Marvel movie, it's like the same experience as Wonder Woman.
Yeah.
Kind of the same feeling.
We walked out of the theater, and I remember saying, if DC can keep doing that, I'll be happy. If DC can keep turning out movies that are decent, I'll be happy with it.
Yeah, exactly. Like, yeah, that should be the goal: is that your worst product is at least decent.
Yeah.
Usually. Yeah.
So, I guess we can talk about like the actual movie and our thoughts on it.
Yeah, so
quick.
Spoilers, but
yes,
it's been out for a couple weeks.
Spoilers and stuff.
For a week or so.
So, it takes place during World War One, which I thought was a good move.
Yeah, I mean the movie is already pretty derivative of Captain America, the first one.
Yeah, I mean that was another thing is like I always thought it'd be good for DC to do Wonder Woman because she's almost like Thor plus Captain America put together.
Yeah, exactly. All like the mythical god stuff Thor has, but then like the old war and like sword and shield or the shield thing.
Because she's I don't know if they stated this outright in the movie, but I think they were hinting at it, and I know it's in the current Wonder Woman. She's a daughter of Zeus. They might have mentioned it in the movie.
Yeah, they confirmed that.
Yeah,
in the final.
Oh, yeah, you're right. So yeah, it's almost the same thing like as Thor, where you get this sort of mythical child, or the main character is like the son of a god that we all come to know.
Yeah, right, and like you have the whole pantheon.
Yeah, but I'm kind of disappointed that this is I guess a minor spoiler, but earlier on in the movie they state that Ares killed all the other gods, which is pretty upsetting because I'm hoping that isn't true and that some of the gods come back somehow.
Yeah, right.
Because in the comics usually there are other gods that Wonder Woman has to fight with and stuff. So I would have loved to see.
Yeah, right. Like everything that like will happen in the sequel or later will have to be like retconned, like, oh, Ares almost killed them, or like they went to hiding or something.
Yeah, I'm sure it's gonna be something like that. Like, oh,
yeah, right. But like it would have been easier, like, I don't know,
to just say they went into hiding, or like that Ares is like have them locked up or something like that. Yeah, something like that. So basically, the plot is that Wonder Woman grows up on Themyscira, and since she was born, she's the princess and everything. One day, this American soldier who's a spy crash lands on Themyscira, and it changes Wonder Woman's life forever.
Yeah, right.
And from then on, Wonder Woman leaves with this spy guy, and they devise a plan to defeat this I forget the guy's name. He was just like some evil German soldier.
Yeah, right, like Ludendorff.
Yeah, Ludendorff or something.
Yeah.
He's like devising this with the help of this woman named, her name was Dr. Poison.
Yeah, I think like she's like an actual like Wonder Woman.
Yeah. I wouldn't be surprised. I'm not huge. I mean, I'm a fan, but
I've heard that like
old stuff.
I've heard Wonder Woman's rogue gallery kind of sucks.
I mean, what's her name? Like Cheetah, the Cheetah Woman or whatever. That's like her main villain is like Cheetah, and it's just like a cheetah woman. It's funny
Yeah,
because like I feel like Batman's Rogue Gallery is like the best. Like it's the
I don't know.
greatest
You
of
could
all
make
time.
you could make an argument for Spider-Man.
Maybe
So.
Spider-Man, but like,
But those are definitely 1A and 1B.
yeah, it's like, but Batman's like up there. But then like all the other DC villains or heroes, they got like pretty shit rogue galleries.
It's like Superman's is like
It's okay if you like know enough about Superman.
Darkseid and like Brainiac
And Darkseid is more like a Doctor Doom character where he's like a villain for everyone because Darkseid is supposed to be stronger than Superman. Right. Yeah, it's like Superman doesn't really get. I mean, I can name a bunch of Superman villains, but like, well, I think the thing with Superman is you have to kind of have like a kryptonite-based villain, so it's like Kryptonite Man or
Doomsday, of course.
Yeah, yeah, Doomsday's a pretty big one. Yeah. What's that? There's a guy like I think it's like Metallo or whatever. That's like another like. But these are all like villains the average person doesn't
like
know about.
Half and like not as good quality as all the Batman.
Yeah, like the average person probably named like 5 Batman villains at the top of their head. The average person probably only named like Lex Luthor and Doomsday. Maybe Bizarro if you got really lucky.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
If you have like a real nerd.
Who the fuck? I mean, with Wonder Woman, I can say Ares, Cheetah, maybe Dr.
Ares
Poison.
isn't even like a Wonder Woman villain though. He's like an interpretation of
the
Greek god.
Yeah. But yeah, I mean, I think that's one of the main reasons that Superman and Wonder Woman don't really get as much spotlight. A hero is almost like it's almost as good as their rogue gallery, and they don't have much. And
I mean, that's what like makes it like a good hero, like very transcendent. I would say. Yeah. It's like having a good rogues gallery because then like you get hype for the actual villain whenever they show up. Yeah. And I feel like Marvel, maybe Spider-Man's rogue gallery isn't as good as Batman's, but I feel like usually each hero has a pretty good rogues gallery. Yeah, I think that's the thing about Marvel. It's more evenly spread out. Yeah, it's more evenly spread out. So like, whereas with DC, it's like Batman gets all the good villains, no one else has any good villains. Exactly. But with Marvel, it feels like I could probably name a bunch of Spider-Man. It's like, probably name Captain America has Red Skull and Zemo, and and then you have Thor having Loki, which is all you need. Yeah, and all those other mythical stuff. You have Iron Man with he's got the what's his fucking name? The Mandarin. From what I understand, I mean he's completely different in the comics and in the movies, but yeah. And then Spider-Man's of course got all the really famous ones: Venom, Green Goblin, Hobgoblin, Dr. Octopus, all these real famous guys. And, but they're also like these big hitters like Magneto and Dr. Doom, who are, lots of people consider those like the upper echelon of like comic book villains. Like Magneto having such like a great backstory, and Dr. Doom being a really interesting villain too. Mm-hmm. Both of them by Fox. So yeah, I mean. I was so pissed off by that new Fantastic Four movie because I just want to see a good Doctor Doom. And right? Did you actually see it? I did see it. Wait, we didn't watch it together, did we? No, I just went after everyone knew that it was like shit. I saw. I went to empty theater and it's like, yep, this is shit. This is bad. Yeah, that fucking 1 year time skip in the middle of this. It's just like what do people complain about most? It's like the origin stories take too long. That whole movie is only the origin story, and they don't fight until the very end. Yeah, right. And then it's one really shitty fight. Yeah, I mean, what's been like a good origin story? I guess Wonder Woman was an origin story. Yeah, it was a pretty decent one. Anyways, they go on and defeat this guy, and then there's a twist where you find out that this guy who was leading them the whole time was actually Ares. I mean, I feel like it was pretty obvious that Ludendorff or whatever wasn't Ares because whenever you have your hero think it's one person, then so hard, once they're so convicted that it's this guy must be Ares, then it's obviously some sort of twist. Yeah, yeah. And I was just thinking, it would be more interesting if, Ares was, an ally, or, was on the side of, England or something, which
kind of happened. I mean, what I thought was, what DC sort of has, I guess, the one thing DC sort of tries to do that Marvel doesn't do is they try to have their superhero stories be a little bit more serious. I mean, I didn't watch Batman vs Superman, but I understand that, like, from what I understand, they like at least tried to bring up the idea that, like, Superman's killing a bunch of people, like,
Yeah, right.
pretty
But,
much.
I don't know. The weird thing about that, though, is I feel like that's more of a response to like all the criticism Man of Steel got.
Yeah, I guess it's true. But I mean, in general, they're darker movies. I feel.
I don't know. I've actually seen Batman versus Superman, and the darkness is so overdone that it feels like just a parody of it.
Yeah, I know. I'm
So-
not saying they do it well, but I'm just saying it's something they have that Marvel at least hasn't really attempted to do as much. And I think they did it. What I was going to say, what was big compliments for Wonder Woman is I think they do it really well here because they have a serious subject. I mean, it's a superhero movie, but it also handles war pretty decently.
Yeah.
The big thing is that Wonder Woman this whole time is like, it's just Ares. Ares is causing all this war. At the end, Ares reveals, I'm not doing anything. I'm just telling them how to create these weapons. It's up to them how they use it.
Mhm.
Which I thought, it wasn't so overblown where it's like all dark.
Yeah,
It's just badness. Oh, humans are terrible or whatever. But it was just the right amount where it was able to handle a serious subject without making it, too much for like a goofy superhero movie, which I thought was good.
Yeah, right. Yeah, so
I think that's probably the biggest compliment I can give to it is that's the whole thing about, I guess, DC movies is they try to be a little bit more edgy, and Wonder Woman did it so that it wasn't like edgy in a bad way, but it like actually had an idea that worked.
yeah, right.
One thing I have to say that I think one of the things that people aren't talking about too that I didn't really like about Wonder Woman is it only had like 2 good fights. Do you see what I mean? I mean, you were in the theater with me, and I was laughing the whole time.
Oh yeah, like the whole No Man's Land thing, where like she goes up there, and then like when they take over the village again, it's like this motherfucker's laughing the whole damn time.
I was laughing the whole fight. But what's I mean, I was just thinking like the German shoulders are fighting. Like, what the fuck? This woman in like a bikini is fucking taking 4 machine guns and not even doing like being harmed at all. But seriously, the real reason I laughed is because I think they handled that a little bit better in Captain America because he's has powers, but he's still like fighting. He's still a human, and he's fighting other humans. But with Wonder Woman, it's like if Thor was in World War I or like if Thor was in World War II. Yeah. I mean, she's just smacking the shit out of everyone, and it's really easy for her to just beat up everyone.
Yeah, and the other thing too is one kind of like moral issue, quote unquote, is that like because World War I was just this clusterfuck and meaningless war, like the Germans, they shouldn't be really portrayed as like the villains that they are in this movie.
Yeah.
And I don't think this film did a good job of kind of saying that, no, these Germans are just like people. It's like, that's one thing I really liked about Captain America is that, like, they're not just Nazis, they're fucking Hydra.
Yeah,
worse than Nazis. So it's like you don't feel any bad that like when Captain America smacks them around, but like in here, it's like these guys are just regular soldiers, and then you have this fucking superpowered woman who can just take machine guns, like it's destroying like that one tower. Yeah. It's like yeah, great moral message that killing innocent soldiers is just cool.
Yeah, there's this part where this is where I fucking died laughing, but there's this part where there's a sniper shooting everyone, and Wonder Woman jumps up. She jumps off this shield that the others have made for her, and she jumps up into the tower, and she destroys the whole tower. And it just was overkill. That's what made me laugh, is like, she just needed to take out one guy, and she blows up the whole fucking tower.
Yeah, right. And then everyone's like, yeah. Like, no, you just... Yeah, so, like, who knows? Maybe, like, this movie is more balanced, but got edited out or something.
Yeah.
But I feel like that's definitely, like, it's weird, like, it's just weird, like, thinking about, like a superpowered being like Wonder Woman choosing a side in, like, a war like that.
Yeah, I see what you mean. It's like getting involved in something very real. And I think, as I said before, I think for the most part they handled it decently well.
Yeah,
But I
it wasn't
agree
like
with
bad, but it's definitely still there.
Yeah, I
to be
definitely agree
criticized.
with you. Is like maybe if they had done World War II, it would have been a little bit better.
But then it would have been even
Two-
more derivative.
Yeah, like Captain America. Yeah,
So
shit,
yeah, it's just like Captain America. The first one came out like 11, I think. So like 6 years ago. So yeah, it's like you can't like do too much similar and be like, oh yeah, we totally didn't copy that.
Yeah. Well, but yeah, I think would have been maybe not better, but something that was done well is if any of you have ever watched the animated Wonder Woman show, not show, it's a movie. That did I think a little bit better because it's basically the same origin story except it takes place in modern times, and it's like it is Ares that's like trying to take over everything. So then the whole time Wonder Woman is fighting like actual monsters, which I thought was a good way of doing it. I don't know. I think there should have just been what would have maybe worked is if like uh, so the main German guy Ludendorff or whatever.
Yeah.
He was given this serum by Dr. Poison that allowed him to become like super strong.
Yeah.
Maybe if he had like given that to other soldiers, and then it maybe would feel like Wonder Woman had more to do with the story.
Yeah, like if
she's
had
more
to fight,
necessary.
Like 4 or 5 of those. Like,
those guys, yeah, I think it would have been a lot better because she only gets to fight Ludendorff with the super abilities and
and
Ares, and those are the only 2 real good fights in the movie. And
yeah, right.
That's pretty much it.
Like yeah, the Ares fight. I don't know, like. There's something about DC style that's like very CG and stuff. I'm just not the biggest fan of, honestly.
Yeah, I mean, I agree with you. I preferred if the Ares didn't look cartoony enough for me. It didn't look comic booky enough for me.
Right. Yeah.
They were trying to go for like a realistic look maybe or something. I would have preferred if he looked a little bit more comic book esque. But I mean, I'm not gonna complain too much because he was only in the like last part of the movie. And the fight itself wasn't so bad. It was okay.
Yeah, right.
I just wish there were more fights like that where it was like, she was up against someone that actually could challenge her as opposed to like,
yeah,
I mean, it's
right.
like,
yeah, it's like it's just a bunch of like regular guys with guns. It's like it's just you want your like that's the other thing cool about Captain America is that like you had these Hydra guys with like like
super guns.
Yeah, like real like powerful stuff that you need like a super soldier and stuff to kill.
Yeah.
Or like at least put up a good fight against them. So.
Yeah, and I feel like Wonder Woman missed an opportunity to maybe have something more akin to that. Another thing about the action was they did a lot of like I don't know if it's 300 started this. I've actually never watched 300 unfortunately, but there was way too much like slow motion for me.
Yeah.
Like she like does an attack and then right before she like is about to do like a big finisher, it like always slows down and then it happens again. And then she fights them all and then it slows down. And then she does something and then she fights and it slows down. And then it happens like every 2 seconds, which is really annoying.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's definitely part of the DC style that I don't like too much. Because like I don't know, I feel like any slow motion is usually kind of unless it's like very sparingly, I think. Now, what I think about it, it's like the MCU movies. It's like they're able to convey their action like really well, but they don't use it that much. Or
slow motion.
Yeah. Motion. So.
Anyways, I mean, it sounds so far that we've just been kind of shitting on the movie, but
I mean, we have to make the case though, because because like a vast majority of people are not bringing up these flaws.
There's lots of flaws with it, but
overall, we have to be the balance. We have to be the ones to be contrarian. We have to take this burden onto ourselves to show the movie world that no, Wonder Woman is not the greatest, is not on the Mount Rushmore of superhero movies.
Yeah. I mean, but like I said at first, I did like it. I mean, there were definitely some good stuff too. Like earlier on, they have the sort of Thor type of thing where she's in the human world and she doesn't know what she's doing.
Oh yeah, right.
I thought that was somewhat humorous. I mean,
I don't know. I feel like it worked better in Thor though because like it took place in like regular times.
I don't know. Yeah, I appreciated how they did on Wonder Woman though. She's like trying on all these clothes and she's like, "How do you battle in this?" And then the secretary is like, "You women don't battle or whatever." And Wonder Woman is very confused.
I'm not opposed to
little fisticuffs. That was a funny line from the secretary. And she's also like seeing people holding hands. She's like, "Oh, should we hold hands?" And he's like, "Oh, no, only certain people hold hands." And like, she's very confused by
Or
all
when
these
you're
customs.
together, it's like, no, not that together.
Yeah. So I mean, there was some good humor with that, and I mean, while I think some of the action was a bit could have been done better, I guess.
Yeah.
It was a good amount of action. I feel like overall.
Yeah, true. I mean, yeah, like a good superhero movie will have good action. I mean, that's one thing I really like about Civil War too. Is that like, yeah, bunch of action and all executed well. But in the end, it's like a movie is about your characters, and that should be the most important thing.
Yeah, definitely.
Like those fucking Transformer movies, those are all
Oh my gosh.
quote unquote action.
Oh my god.
But they're obviously still terrible.
Oh gosh. There was a trailer for Transformers 5, and it's just like, it's funny because I can't even blame anyone but myself, because I'm the shit who like goes out and watches every single one of them. And after like the second one, I really just did it just for the sake of like masochism, I guess, just because I like wanted to see how bad each and every one would be.
I'll do that for this one though. Honestly.
Yeah, we should do that. But it's funny because I remember like I was a teenager, like I was the right age to still be enjoying it, and I'm very lenient on movies. I can almost always be like, this is bad, but I enjoy it.
Yeah, you definitely don't shit on stuff too much. Well, except for Suicide Squad. You could go on all day about that.
Yeah, I mean, even that movie, like I was at least like entertained. Like I can watch it again. I would like be up if like you were right now. Like let's go watch the Oscar award winning Suicide Squad. I'd be like, hell yeah, dude, let's fucking watch Suicide Squad. That movie's awful, but I'd be so down for like how fucking bad it is. Mm-hmm. But with Transformers, I remember I was a teenager and I was watching Transformers 3. I could not get over how bad it was.
Yeah.
I was literally like sitting in this theater, like, what the fuck is going on?
Yeah, that came out in 2011, right?
Yeah, so I must have been like 15, 16. Yeah. I remember 15, thinking, like, this movie needs to fucking stop. Like, this is so bad. And I couldn't believe it, because I never do that with movies. Like, I'm always just like, yeah, this is bad, but I can laugh about it, or I can enjoy it in some, like, bad way.
Yeah, I remember I was watching it on Netflix, and, like, the whole, like, battle that took place in Chicago was like, why is this happening? Why do I have to watch this at this pace?
For me the worst part was like when like the Autobots left, and like there's this whole like, oh, we're doomed, the Autobots aren't gonna come back, and I was just like, let the fucking Autobots come back so this movie can fucking end, and then they could fucking fight the guys.
Right, because then like the shuttle that they took off like get destroyed or something.
Yeah, and it was like, oh my god, I don't give a shit. Just have them come back. We all know they're gonna fucking come back.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I barely like. Yeah, that third one. Like the only thing I really remember is just like Leonard Nimoy as like Sentinel Prime, and then how like every villain got killed at the end of that by Prime.
Yeah. Oh man, let's not keep talking about that. That's
I don't know. Like, I think the trailers for this one, I think it will be a pretty bad movie, but I'm not sure if it will be as bad as the other one.
I mean, I liked 4 more than 3. I guess is a positive. Like,
yeah, I've never seen 4.
4 was, I can't even remember what honestly even happened. It had the dinosaurs, though.
But like only at the end, right?
Yeah,
that's what I heard.
I mean, but I don't. Maybe it was just the fact that it wasn't with fucking Shia LaBeouf and like his just some like random hot girl like who has no purpose by his side.
Yeah, I do think Wahlberg is a better fit for these movies.
Yeah, yeah, sure, I agree.
Yeah, whatever paycheck he's getting is worth it.
Yeah. But yeah, I mean, we'll probably go out and watch Transformers 5, and
isn't that when is that coming out? Anyway?
Keep filling Michael Bay's pocket. I don't know. I don't know. I know that the next Planet of the Apes movie is coming out on my birthday, which is.
Oh yeah.
I never watched.
That should be good shit.
I've actually never watched any of them, but.
What? They're all like great movies.
Really?
Yeah.
I can't.
Well, 2 of them. Yeah.
I just like. Every time I see a trailer for that, I just fucking laugh because it's like a monkey on a horse. I just have like the humor of like a 5-year-old. I'm like monkey on the horse, and like it makes me laugh every
Yeah,
fucking
like
time.
this fucker. Like whenever like the Wingnut logo comes up
Yeah,
for those fucking Hobbit movies, this guy laughs his ass off.
Because I remember me and the Kawaii Wrestler went out and saw fucking The Hobbit, the first one, with a friend of ours, and I hadn't seen Lord of the Rings since I was like 5 or whatever. I don't know, like 7.
Yeah.
And I had never been a big fan when I was a kid, so I really didn't know anything. I remember the logo came up. It was like Wingnut Production. I fucking died in the movie theater. And you and our friend Kieran,
Yeah,
you were
right.
both like, "Oh my god, are you seriously laughing at the word Wingnut?" And I was fucking dying at the word Wingnut. I could not stop laughing at that shit.
And then yeah. Wow, that brings back a lot of memories.
Oh man. And then fucking with Wonder Woman, like every time I was just laughing.
Yeah, it's like during the whole like
action scenes, I was like dying the whole time.
and then like it ends like yeah, when like the bell tower gets destroyed. It's like in this dramatic moment where it's like the final or like the end of the battle. And he's like
It's funny too because that always happens to me. Like, and it happens even when like it shouldn't happen, or like when other people should be laughing. Like when I went and saw 50 Shades of Grey with my girlfriend,
oh,
which
God.
we should watch this movie. I honestly recommend this. Go out and watch 50 Shades of Grey 1 just because of how bad it is. Like it's so bad, it's funny. It's like at that level of film.
Yeah.
Like I don't understand how anyone can take these films seriously in the least. Like I hear like feminists and SJWs. I think it's almost like a fair argument where they're like, these films they show a pretty unhealthy relationship, which is true.
Yeah.
It's like I don't know how you can take it seriously. It's like, yeah, it shows an unhealthy relationship, but I can't help but laugh at the fact that Christian Grey just went, "I'm 50 Shades of fucked up." I fucking died when he said that in the theater, and no one else was laughing. I was so surprised that no one else laughed. I mean, it was all couples, so maybe that's why. But like,
I think that the people who would be laughing didn't go see the movie, honestly.
But it's such a bad line. It's like so awful. Like when he said it, I literally screamed "what" in the movie theater and started laughing because I could not believe they wrote. The line is again. She asks Anastasia, who's played by Dakota Johnson or whatever her name is. She asked Christian Grey, who's I don't know what the actor's name is, but the guy who plays Grey and the girl. She's like, "What's wrong with you? Why do you like doing these things to me? Why do you like hurting me?" And then he slams the table and says, "I'm 50 Shades of fucked up." And, oh my god, that line. The second one was like better in the sense that it like wasn't as laughable, but I enjoyed it less because of that.
Yeah, right. Yeah, like that's the weird thing about like movie quality is that there kind of gets to a point where like being hateable and being like bad is like a better than being like more mediocre and offensive.
Yeah,
like there kind of comes with like a weird gray area where like no reaction is worse than like bad reaction. So,
yeah.
so I
It's
feel
like I mean, it's like I'd rather be like pissed off than bored out of my skull. I think is kind of a good way of putting it.
Yeah, so I think like movies that like are like offensively bad, like Batman versus Superman, they're like better and like more enjoyable than like something offensively boring.
Yeah.
So like
exactly.
So like when you think of like quality of bad movies, like what is better? Like something that's better but still not good, but not like terrible, or is it something better when it gets a reaction out of you, even though it's like really bad? So
yeah.
So yeah, that's like kind of like the moral argument, or like the hypothetical argument. Like, what's worse? Something that is so bad that gets reaction. Yeah, you get the point.
Yeah. But oh man, that fucking movie. We should watch that for the podcast one time. It'd be pretty awkward, two guys watching this movie that's all about sex, but still, it might be worth it just because of how fucking hilarious that first one can be.
Right, so have you seen the second one?
I have seen. We went and watched it on Valentine's Day. Oh my gosh.
Man, what a desecration of my birthday.
Oh yeah, that is your birthday. Oh man, the second one was like I can't remember if I didn't laugh as much. It wasn't like I said, it wasn't as bad a movie, but there were some funny moments in the second one too. Uh, there's like this girl stalking Anastasia in it, and then there's this part where she used to be one of Christian's like sex slaves, and so she's about to shoot Anastasia, and then Christian just comes in and goes stop, and then she like lays down on the floor or whatever, and it's just funny because it's like how fucking like around his finger are these women if he can just like one that he isn't even like sexing up anymore, he can just be like halt knave, and she just like gets on her knees. Yeah, it's like she's just like she like gives him the gun and she like gets on her knees in like this position that's like it's just like oh my god, are you are you serious?
Jeez, it's like it. I feel like these movies, like in the grand scheme of things, they're going to be like the Room trilogy,
Yeah,
like a trilogy.
I kind of hope that's how they're remembered is like just for these like really oh my gosh. Anyways,
we'll see. I mean, in the end, you have to get a bunch of shitlords and stuff watching them and like making like videos and stuff, making fun of them, which that's gonna be a while, honestly.
yeah, it's gonna have to be like when it's like it'll have to become like a cult classic.
Yeah.
Anyways, other thing I guess we're gonna talk about is my trip. I don't really have that much to say. I went to India.
Yeah.
I think the first thing you notice about India, I mentioned this, was the traffic. There's also the heat. My God, is it hot in that country? Oh my gosh, It's funny because like I thought it was like way cooler in here in America, but it's not so much colder, which pissed me off. It's been a relatively hot summer.
Yeah, that's like the thing you have to remember about summer is that pretty much whatever half is experiencing summer in the upper, there's not much temperature difference between like the north or like the pole side and then like the equator.
Yeah,
because everything's just simply hot because
yeah.
everyone everywhere is getting a lot of sun, a long time or high sun angle.
I mean,
just a bunch of environmental factors. It's really winter that there's like actual big difference between the poles and the.
I mean, it definitely was hotter there. What's kind of interesting, well, it's funny, I guess, is in India, just part of the culture is like a lot of places you go to. Like we went to a lot of temples. I wanted some touristy like tour buses and stuff. Some of the other places you go to, you can't wear shoes, so you have to take your shoes off. But also in India, everything is made out of marble. So
really?
Yeah, or just like stone, like you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Just like it's always stone. But it's so hot that the stone is like so fucking hot on your feet.
Really?
So yeah, you'll see like all these Indians crowding around like under bushes and trees and stuff. Like I went to this place where they have Gandhi's ashes buried, and I was literally like jumping like around because I was like I can't look at this fucking burial site for too long. My feet are burning.
That's crazy.
What they do is they put out mats and they like put water on them, but then the mats dry up and get hot too. So it's like even these mats aren't really that helpful.
Yeah, right. It's like at least it's not like asphalt.
Yeah, I guess that's true.
But yeah, that's why shoes were invented.
Yeah, but I mean,
because walking around in like tropical places in the summer is just not good.
I mean, and also when I went to there's this temple I went to, and it's funny because there's this like if let's say we're on the temple up above the stairs and we're facing out to the city. To the right is where all the sun was, and to the right there's also this idol of the Hindu god Ganesh, he's the elephant god. I mean, he's I guess the most recognizable.
Right.
And no one was going over there to pray to Ganesh. Everyone was praying to all the other gods because it was too damn hot to go over to Ganesh. Everyone was like, "Fuck that! I'll pray to Ganesh when I get home. I came to this temple, but I'm not going over and praying to him. I'm praying to all these other gods. Yeah, right. He can wait." You know?
That's some funny shit.
Wow, it's too damn hot for that. Also at Taj Mahal, you're not supposed to wear shoes, but they have it so that you can also wear like shoe covers, which is what I did.
Yeah, I mean, you just are gonna have too many white people, non-Hindus going there.
Yeah, I guess that was
like,
the point. You know what fucking sucks about it though is in India. So we went on this tour that takes you to this. So the city that the Taj Mahal is in is called Agra, and there's a fort called Agra Fort, which was made by the same Muslim kings, or like the same line of kings, not the exact same king, because the Taj Mahal is supposed to be like a tomb for that specific king's wife, I think.
Right.
But anyways, we went to Agra Fort and the Taj Mahal. For Indians, for both of these places, it costs 100 rupees, approximately $2. For foreigners, this cost 1,550 rupees for both places. That's $30, $31 for foreigners, $2 for Indians. My fucking god, it was ridiculous.
I mean, we all know they like to squeeze out money.
And it's funny because like we were like, I was with my my uncle's assistant who was taking me around, and he's like, "Oh, you have to fucking convince them you're Indian." So like, we couldn't convince them because I don't speak any Hindi or anything. So they were just like, "Oh, this guy's American.
Really?
Fuck out of here." Well, he was just like, he's Indian, but he's American, and he's like, that counts as a. They're like, that counts as a fucking foreigner. He's like, no, he's Indian. His name is Indian as fuck. And then they're like, no, this is a foreigner guy.
Like, did you guys try and not mention it at first?
Well, you're supposed to show ID, like, so it was kind of impossible.
No,
but I was thinking we should have just tried, but I don't know. But
yeah, I feel like it would have been worth it to like just try and be like, oh, it's like just not speak and be like, say whatever words.
Yeah, it's just like, namaste. It's like with a really clear like American accent too. It'd be so obvious, but yeah.
Yeah, I feel like you at least try open with that, and then when it doesn't work, it's like try to convince them. Oh, I'm Indian, but I'm American.
Yeah. You know what sucks about going to foreign countries though is, or going to India. You know, I'm half Indian, and I look fucking Indian to most Indians. So most fucking Indians think that I can speak Hindi or Urdu or whatever. Yeah. So I almost wish that I was white or, black or something, so that when I went up to someone, they would know I'm a foreigner.
Yeah,
because everyone comes up to me and they start speaking Hindi, and I'm just like, I don't know what you're saying. And then they still continue to speak Hindi for a bit because they don't understand that I don't understand them. And then like, yeah. It's just like
that's true. Like
a hassle.
Like even though like if I went there, I would stick out like a sore thumb. But at least people know like, oh, he's probably just an American.
Yeah, because I was with some tourists that were American. They're from Minnesota, and
Minnesota,
fucking must be way different temperatures. You know what I mean?
Wow. Yeah, Minnesota. Everywhere in the U.S. gets hot in the summer.
Yeah,
in the winter though.
Yeah, and like, like at least people like knew they were foreigners and shit. Like no one knew I was a foreigner. So yeah, it's funny too because like they were saying that like Indians would just stop them and be like, "Let me take a picture with you," because in India they never fucking see white people. Right. So like wow, a white person. Oh shit, I gotta take a picture with this person.
Although like if I went to like some European country, then I would have the same problem though.
Yeah,
but at least like people would know like Americans more generally anyway.
Yeah, like so. I mean, as soon as you spoke English, they'd be like, "Oh, he's American." Whereas in India, like I speak English, and they're like, they think I'm like confused or something, so they continue to speak Hindi for a little bit longer, and I have to be like,
"No, I don't know Hindi," or "I don't know."
I have to be like, "Oh, Hindi nahi," is that how you say it? Yeah, it's kind of a hassle in that sense, but what are you gonna do? I don't know. It's fun going there, but there's lots of things that suck about like going with my family is nice because like I have a place to stay and everything. Yeah, exactly. But my grandparents are also like way too strict, so I like can't go out in the day or anything. I'm just staying in the house all fucking day there. The only time I go out is when we're going to get groceries. They'll be like, "Oh, let's go out." It's like, "Oh, how much fucking fun can I have buying groceries in another country?"
Yeah, right.
And then it's
I mean, we have all the good shit here.
Yeah. Oh, they have Kinder Eggs over there.
Oh, really?
Shit you can't get in America. They also had a Haagen-Dazs in the airport, which I was so fucking excited for.
Oh, yeah.
You know what's crazy, though, is since it was India and no one eats beef, I went to a McDonald's and they don't have Big Macs or anything.
Right,
yeah.
What do they have? Is it just like chicken nuggets?
Yeah, they do. They don't even have chicken nuggets, but they do have like McChickens and like chicken sandwiches, and then they have veggie burgers and. In India, we eat this thing called paneer, which it's cheese. Paneer means cheese, but it's basically it's like cheese. It's like milk curd, so it's like tofu, but it's like with real milk instead of soy milk. And so they have like paneer burgers and paneer wraps.
I'm sure it's not that bad.
But it sounds weird to be like I'm eating a burger that's made out of just cheese, but yeah, I mean it's more like eating a tofu burger basically.
Yeah, that's interesting how so few people in India I guess eat meat because of Hinduism. That it's like the fucking McDonald's. And were there any other fast food places? Were there any Burger King?
So I didn't really get to go out and see fast food places, but when I was in the airport, that's when I got to see. And the only two like American places were Burger King and Domino's, and I didn't even go to the Domino's. So.
Oh, Domino's. That's interesting.
One thing that was also I thought was really cool though was that we got Indian Chinese food, so it was a kind of an interesting mix. It was like Chinese seasoning and everything, but with like it was like with basmati rice and like peas and stuff in it, so it's like Indian-ish.
Yeah, that's interesting. Yeah, I feel like Chinese food in general just kind of bastardized. Like it's not real Chinese food.
Yeah.
Whatever like the culture thinks is Chinese.
Yeah. Just like some like Chinese like cooking techniques is like the only thing that ever gets transferred. But it was interesting because it's like I'm so used to having American Chinese food. It's like I wonder if in India, Indians like, that's not real Chinese food, you bastard. Because in America, you hear that so fucking often. It's people like, it's not real Chinese. Taco Bell isn't real fucking Mexican food. It's like you don't think I don't fucking know that. It's
like who fucking cares if it's good and cheap? Then we'll just eat it.
It's like you think I go to Taco Bell accepting or anticipating like authentic. Like Mexican food, that's not what I expect. I just imagine like a shitty fucking burrito, and that's what I get.
Yeah, I mean, it's just the only reason you go to Taco Bell is because
you want Taco Bell.
Yeah, and because it's open, it's the only place open.
Yeah,
and it's cheap.
Yeah, where we live, the only place that's open after like 11 o'clock is that fucking Taco Bell. Yeah, that's like the only place to get food. So our Taco Bell is actually fucking bumping because every night there's like 5 cars in the drive-thru, like at 3 a.m.
I feel like Taco Bell is probably like the worst place like to do drive-thru because like they actually have to prepare your food.
Yeah.
To some extent.
But I don't know. It's like it's always busy, like at night, because there's nowhere else to get food, and like of course, like a bunch of teenagers live here, so it's like of course they're gonna have to fucking want to eat like at 12 o'clock. Right. I'm surprised nowhere else stays open past 11 or 10. I feel like it'd be a good idea.
Yeah, like didn't Wendy's try that or something?
Maybe, I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know. I feel like the teenage population in our town is high enough to support like one like midnight place, but I'm not sure how many places it could sustain.
I don't know. That Taco Bell is convenient though. I do love going there like late at night when I have nowhere else to go.
Because you usually get off work pretty late.
Right? Yeah, it's like I work in fucking Baltimore, so by the time I get home, it's at least like 11 o'clock. I work at a bar. It's at least like at the earliest it's like 11. So the only place I can go to Taco Bell. It's like I don't want to cook after I've done just finished cooking for like 50 fucking people for 5 hours. So of course I'm gonna go to Taco Bell.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's funny because the grocery store is usually closed at 12.
Well, Harris Teeter is open all night, but like I don't want to. There's nothing to get at Harris Teeter unless you're cooking something.
Oh yeah, yeah. No, I'll just think of a question I want to ask after your podcast because I'm not sure our viewers want to listen to something else. This question I have in mind. So let's go back onto something a little less about our town that we live in.
Well, actually, we're at about the 50-minute mark.
Yeah, right.
So
if you're still here, then congratulations. Congratulations.
Are you doing Neon Genesis? The ending of NGE. Oh Or yeah, that's NG. I was about to think. I thought it was end of, but oh man,
Cool. Well, guys, if you enjoy us, leave a like, share, and subscribe. Or if you hate us, leave a dislike. Um, talk shit about us in the comments, and don't subscribe. But either way, if you're listening to this, then yeah, thanks a lot. You just wasted 15 minutes of your life.
well, I'm sure they were all doing something else.
Yeah.
Anyways, thank you so much for watching.